G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. Today on the podcast, it is the belated 2-minute warning from round 9. If you haven't subscribed to the pod, wherever you listen, please do that. Leave us a rating, leave us a review, and the most important step of all, tell your mates. All right, get stuck in. Hardball Gets is brought to you by TabTouch. Got the touch? Download the TabTouch app today. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name is Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. What's happening, fellas?
I tell you what, you miss one day of work and everything just
cascades.
It's just like an avalanche.
I'm
still catching up for taking Monday.
Why did you take Monday? Because I've copped a few messages that you were sick or you were too scared to come and face the music.
What was the music?
Fremantle.
Oh, mate, they're not my team.
Someone did a shit in the tent.
We lost, unfortunately for you.
I didn't say that. We've played the audio. It clearly says.
It
clearly
did
does
not
not say that. You can hear, it's like one of those eye pictures. What are those magic eye pictures where you can still...
Oh, yeah.
You know those black ink ones, the dot ones?
Well, let's just quickly do a vote here. There's 3 of us right now in here. So let's just say, did Ryan say we? Hands up.
Of course you're going to outvote.
So 2 out of 3, we're right.
No,
okay, so we can move on. You were grieving. That's okay.
I wasn't grieving. No, I had an appointment in the morning for my daughter, and then I just wasn't feeling 100%.
Right.
So I just took a sign and said,
could you
just
say
take the day.
was it a day also?
Listen to
now
your body.
I am a support. Yeah, I'm a supporter of this. When you're not feeling right,
Yeah.
so you're a little bit unwell,
Yeah.
but then there's also the mental health sort of. I just need a day.
Yeah.
I just need a
Sometimes
day.
I reckon
need
there was a bit of that.
Yeah, I just
'Cause
need a day.
It's a pretty full-on season. Like,
I agree.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, you're going. And every now and then it just goes, hold on a minute.
Have a little minute.
Pause.
Have a day.
And now I feel good.
Refresh.
Now
Yeah,
feel
no, I
good.
agree with that.
I had a bit of extra sleep on Monday and now I feel good. So
Doesn't
apologies.
mean I'm not going to go after you. In
Apologies.
The
No, it's all bets are off. Apologies for the late pod. But now you get a little treat. You get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
What a day, what a lead.
3 in a row.
Beautiful.
It's like
Hey.
the weekend starts early.
Yes. You know, you've put everything off and now you get to unwrap all the presents
Party
at once. It's so good.
So this is how we've landed here. All right, well, should we just get into it?
I think so. Is there anything we need to do? Is there any?
I don't think there's much we need to table.
All I can say is really quickly that our TabTouch same game multis.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just about back to level, I would say, after nailing one early. Mine was my leg that
Well,
failed
how
me.
many weeks are we in?
7. Nah,
You've
but we
got
missed
one.
a couple.
You've got one.
We
I've
missed a
got
couple
one. Okay.
and
I think
missed a couple of weeks.
Because of the mystery negotiation.
But also, remember last week, just quickly on mine, how we go, look, I'm just going to give Port Adelaide I'll give them a 30-point head start.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was the leg that let me down, just an extra 10 goals on top of that. But anyway, so we all failed on them, unfortunately. We are not going overly well with our little same games.
No, we're not.
Always
But
gamble
Nick,
responsibly.
I don't know if you were listening on Friday.
I did
but
listen.
We've decided to get
Oh, yes,
fruity.
okay.
Once a month, I think we do get
16
fruity.
leggers?
Once a
Get
month.
fruity, it's called.
Yeah, I did listen. I was
16
on the
legs.
tarmac listening to the intro. Thank you
Yep.
very much for that.
Yep. Oh,
That's what I sound like?
that's exactly what
Actually,
you sound like.
Random, a mate of mine sent me a photo of when he was up north.
I was Googs.
Yeah.
Shout out Googs.
Googsy.
My old mate just sent me a photo up. That's Nick Rynne in that photo.
Yeah, I was doing a bit of work for Country Footy WA up in Karratha.
He was sitting at a bar drinking beers.
Yeah.
I was
a
editing
bit
a
of
video,
work.
but anyway.
A bit of work. A
There
very
was a couple
small
of
bit
nice
of work.
Very small.
A couple of
I
beers.
did bloody good. There was a fish burger at Karratha Cats. Jeez, it was good.
All right.
Anyway,
Let's go.
Shout out Karratha Cats canteen.
Good weed up there? Or?
No, there's no time, but I'm sure there is.
There'll be a lot of grown-
heavier
there'll be
stuff.
stuff growing up there. For
All right,
sure.
well, let's do it, eh?
Me? Wow, this is going to throw Nick off.
Oh, man, I'm
You've started
cooked
with
now,
me.
yeah, okay.
This is going to throw Nick off big time.
Why are we
All right,
doing
let's
this?
start with the Brisbane Lions business-like performance.
That was
in the
very
Q Clash.
Yeah.
That was very premiership
It was.
winner.
Yep,
Just
swatting away a fly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like when you go to court against a big law firm and you think you've got a good lawyer,
Yeah.
but then you go to court and go, oh, shit, they've got really good
Well, you
lawyers.
can't- like,
Council
yeah.
rocks up.
Yeah, we just got knocked around.
You've just played like kick to kick or something at school and beaten your schoolmates.
Yeah.
You go home to your older brother
And
and,
get
they
back-
just
yeah.
beat
Have you, got
Correct.
have you got legal trouble at the moment? What's with the lawyers being dropped in? Oh, okay, all right. There's something going on. He does. He can always just there's crumbs in everything he says. There's
You can
crumbs.
Follow the
So if anyone does have a good lawyer, please.
The Ashcroft boys is what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
We got a little preview into what it's going to look like in a couple of years because they were amazing. 63 touches between them, 9 score involvements, 12 clearances. You'll like this, 848 metres gained combined. And clearly, Will led from the front. But that was
Levi's
fantastic.
best game as well.
But this is, I think, reheating a bit of Hutchie's soup from earlier in the week. But, if I was the Suns, I'm going to say we need to change the medal name right now. Can't be the Marcus Ashcroft
they kind of
medal,
do.
And the Ashcrofts go.
It's the same as the
What are they going to call it?
Glendenning.
The Jared Brennan medal or
Ashcroft
the
Swallow
Campbell
or-
Brown
No,
medal?
But it's the same as the Ross
The
Glendenning.
Swallow medal. He's still playing. You're going to have a medal after
Yeah,
yourself
but he's
still
barely
playing.
playing.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
the
loose
Ross Glendenning medal, you kind of they had that, which worked because
Yeah.
Ross kind of did some work.
And
at
then when you
Fremantle for
become
5 minutes, and then
when you
it was-
become a real club, though, we can't have this anymore.
yeah, hold on a minute.
But also, Roscoe won a Brownlow elsewhere. Like for WA football,
he was
a
very good
representative.
WA football.
Yeah, yes.
But why not Ablett?
Well, that's their best
Why
and
not the
fairest.
Ashcroft Ablett?
You can't call it Ablett. He was there for 6 seconds.
I think that's the best and fairest is the Ablett medal, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? I don't think it is.
No. I
Oh,
think
it should
it
be.
is.
He won like
Don't
9 of
start
them.
making
I think-
stuff up.
I think we're into one team and you're already talking shit.
He made that up, right? I
Other
don't
than
think
the
that's
Ashcroft,
real.
The Ashcroft Ablett. I'm pretty sure it is the Gary Ablett medal.
No, I don't think it is. If he's right, I'm going to be so flat because it's a horrible way to start a podcast, particularly when we've got 3 episodes.
It is called the.
I think it's just called the club champion.
I
I don't think
know.
it has a name.
Gold Coast best and fairest. Someone do this.
All right.
Josh, you want to do this?
No,
All right, I'll go into.
You
well,
go on to your
well,
team.
yeah. Given the timing of this podcast, it's kind of a half review, half look forward. But Collingwood game of the year.
Yes.
No way they were ever going to win, and then all of a sudden they would look like they were going to win.
Yeah.
But then now, are they tempting fate now?
With the resting?
Were they resting DeGoey, Maynard,
They're always-
Mychek, and Pendlebury?
Yeah.
They'll always. Well, Mychek's injured.
Yeah,
DeGoe's battling, and the others were always.
I
gonna be
thought this
rested.
was a fascinating insight into how the Victorian clubs operate with travel. And it always makes me giggle because it's like at the start of the year.
Don't complain about travel.
Well, at the start of the year, they looked at it and went, oh, that game for sure, we're going to rest a few
Everyone.
blokes. And Craig McRae said that. Now, granted, it is coming off a 5-day break, so that adds a layer.
Yes,
Yeah, and there are a couple of injuries in those boys.
Yeah. But it's just the WA teams do this every second week.
Yeah.
So if they were doing this on
But
games
aren't we
breaks
arguing
and,
this
and
is a great-
slight injuries?
But aren't you? Shouldn't you be arguing this is a great advantage for Fremantle and West Coast?
It's not,
Because-
though.
But it is because teams don't bring their best teams.
Is it? Is it not a little mind game from Collingwood here?
Oh, well, from experience, I'll give you the hot tip. I'd rather DeGoey, Pendlebury, and Mychek not
that is
playing
true.
than the little mind game of them not
I
playing.
don't know. Not where Fremantle are
I
at right
think
now.
that's such a shit way to
that's
look
true.
at it.
Not where they are at.
No, not where they are
Not where
at.
we
But
were at, he
they
says.
wouldn't want to lose to an undermanned team. But they should see it as like we used to do when we were at West Coast. Good players would stay home or if they were a bit sore, and you go,
Really?
You beauty. You beauty.
Yeah.
No. Travelling to
coming
WA.
the
It's an
other way.
advantage.
Yeah,
I would
okay.
see it with a smile on the face. You beauty. They actually don't want to be here. They don't think they're probably favourites to win.
Was
so let's
that
get
the
them.
call on the? They don't want to be here, boys.
Yeah.
Can
They
you
don't
not?
want it.
You can see the bigger picture though. That if you think it's that big of an impact, so
That
you
it's gonna
don't
hurt
take a
Pendlebury.
player,
No, I get that. No,
then you
I
can see that it also impacts the teams that do it every
I
second
get that,
week.
but I'm also saying
All the
flip side, there's an advantage you're not thinking about.
It's
is
pretty
that
rare
they-
though. Like,
yeah.
when was the last time a team rested
They did
bulk
this
players?
many.
No, not this many, but there's always, I'm certain there's always a player every second week that could play.
Maybe,
I reckon.
maybe. Well, in that scenario, then you've
Oh,
got the flip side.
Those
Those players for the local teams are playing.
Yes, hang on.
because they can't just rest them.
No.
Yes. Okay, let's go. Which team has the biggest defeat of the season?
Oh,
Which team has the,
What
which,
has
which,
been pumped by
which
the
team's
most?
lost by the most this season? We'll start there.
Is it North Melbourne?
No,
is it
Port
is it
Adelaide.
St Kilda,
no,
Fremantle.
no,
Sydney,
no,
Geelong.
no,
West Coast?
no.
Where are
Hawthorn?
we?
Port Adelaide.
I was going to say Port
Oh,
Adelaide.
yeah, of
Did I?
course.
Well, I
thought
think you spoke over Rhino, and I didn't
Okay,
miss.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Port
he
Adelaide.
does that.
It's Port Adelaide. Guess who's got the second biggest pumping this season?
Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide.
Is that right?
Port Adelaide. Turn your toes up, Port, I call them. Never again North and turn your toes up, Port. Oh, my goodness. Wow, 90 points on the weekend. 91 points was round one against Collingwood. Remember, Collingwood got hold of them. And then 90 on the weekend. What... Are they just the hardest read? Like 1 week we're saying, just move Ken on now. Let's just do it.
Yep.
Then they go on a tiny little streak.
Yep. But
Then-
that's Port.
But then I think we're disrespecting that's Port because they win 15 games every year.
Yeah.
They don't lose by 90 very
bad.
often. They've lost two games by 90.
This is an extreme version.
The biggest losing margins of the season are both Port Adelaide's.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That
is remarkable, considering we've got West Coast and North and Richmond.
That's what I thought. I thought when I looked at it, the biggest margin was 91.
That's amazing.
I thought they lost by 90 on the weekend, so maybe they're seed 1 and 2.
So
But
you've been waiting for the 100-point losses. We haven't had any.
no shit.
Check the bank balance.
doubling down.
I've been waiting, all right.
Mate.
No, but it's just interesting. Like, where do you see it? Like, 1 week when we do this thing, we have to talk about every club. We go, oh, gee whiz, Port, I can see them getting it together. Rosie off half back, gee, that was nice.
Yeah.
Butters is back. Oh, Hornet. Oh, he'd be the first one I'd take out of all them.
Georgiades.
Hey,
Then they serve that up. Like, what?
It's a mess, isn't
what
it?
do you do?
Hey, can I ask showdown this week?
Could do anything.
Was that the 2 minutes? Or is that an accidental slip, Joshy? I was going to
He's
ask
out of
about
guts at Port
Rioli.
Adelaide.
Yeah, does he play?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
This used to be that. It's like he went to school with him. It was always Seven Oaks College down the road. We'll meet you in a car park after school.
No,
That's the vibes I get from Willie Rioli.
How many times did you get told to meet in the car park?
Once or twice.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Did you go?
No.
Yeah, he didn't go to school. Let alone did he go to the car park.
Yeah, without a back door that day.
He was in the car park smoking. So, you guys are here too. Okay, I'll do the Gold Coast now because it's the second half of the Q Clash. Geez, they went up to it. There's a couple of things that, and maybe this one's obvious because of the position that he plays, but Ben King is an absolute barometer for where they're going.
Yes.
Right. So in their losses this year,
He was busy early, Ben King.
yeah, in their losses, this is his averages:
Yeah.
4 touches, 1 mark, 1 goal.
4 touches.
4 touches, 1 mark, 1 goal. In their wins, so they've had 2 losses.
Right.
In their wins, 10 touches, but 4.6 marks, 4.4 goals.
Yeah.
So he loads up when they
They
win.
bashed up on some pretty ordinary teams. Though,
Bashed up on
He
some
only touched
ordinary
the ball
teams.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And that's the whole
Jesus.
argument about a forward at Fremantle that doesn't find enough footy. When you're playing out of the goal square, like he does, it's very hard to get involved in the game. When it's
Yeah.
not on your terms as a footy club and the ball's not on a platter, how are you going to find the footy?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
The other one I want to talk about is Wits, who's going okay.
Yeah.
Like I looked at the numbers, I was like, where does he
He's
sit?
always going to get
He's-
reasonable numbers.
he's in the
best
middle.
on, was he best on ground when he was over? He wasn't he?
Yeah.
When he came over, he
was-
dominated.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that West Coast ruck
Again,
situation
yeah,
is just a
yeah,
mess.
yeah.
Like I was looking at it going, well, they're going places, right? We think the Gold Coast Suns are
Mm.
going places, and we think they're going to get there in about a year or two. Is he? He's probably not going to.
No, he's not gonna be there.
So then they've got the Ned Moyle guy who they re-signed and they fought to keep. Then they've got Ethan Reid who.
Well, that's why
is-
they fought
you know,
to keep.
So there's these
Because
two
they've
guys.
obviously got the
Is that
plans.
enough? Because
Well, I
in 2
don't know.
years they're going to be cooking with gas.
But what's the price you put on Ruckman in terms of names? Like, yeah, you'd love Max Gawn prime time there, but you'd also look at who's
You might
won
as
the
well have,
premierships
yeah.
last 10 years.
So
and
a
it's-
Moyle being
could
a
be it.
7 out of 10 might be enough.
could be it.
Yeah.
It could be all you need.
Or Ethan Reid might end up.
But
being
then
a
also you're paying him
Ethan Reid will be
500,000.
second ruck.
You're
Yeah.
paying him 500. You got an extra 500
And
to
then they
splash
got-
around on topping up.
Well,
a
they might
midfield,
get
maybe.
Jeff White's kid this year as well.
Yeah,
Alani
He's got a
White.
decision. Is that this year?
That's this year.
In
yeah.
2 years, though, by the
Jeez,
sounds,
it's
and I'm talking out my ass. I think he's Gold Coast likely. They all live up there and stuff.
Yeah, they all live up
Yeah,
there. He's grown
yeah.
up there. I would assume he would go to Gold.
Gold Coast, yeah.
Jeez, it's good to be in those states, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the kids they get.
no,
I
let's
mean, the
just
Ashcrofts.
Don't. Free hit.
So I'll go GWS. So this is officially, I'm christening. There's a new zone in the AFL on the AFL ladder. It's the Yuck Zone.
Oh, you've done a bit of Dan Gorringe.
It's the Yuck Zone. It's the teams who should be good, but just they're not.
Okay.
They should be good,
Well,
but they're
the
not. So this is
alarm
Port
bells are
Adelaide.
going off. The Port Adelaide, the alarm bells are going off for
It's
Giants.
the Yuck Zone. Something
Yep.
should be happening, but it's just not.
Who's
So
in the Yuck Zone?
I'm putting GWS in the Yuck Zone.
Okay.
So is this an actual ladder or is
No,
this
no,
a
it's
group
just
of
it's
teams that you've put in
It's
there?
a philosophical
Yeah, this
Okay.
is Rinnie's ladder.
existence.
In your
Yeah.
mind.
So
But
the
it
Giants
actually
are
does
in.
match up to a little like the kind of
So the Giants are in there.
The
Yeah.
Giants are
No,
officially
I'm with
in
ya.
the Yuck Zone
I'm with
now.
ya.
What is going on? How did this? So they had more.
They've
again,
been on the road for a really long time.
Yes, but again, they had more
Have they played
disposals
a home
and
game?
equal inside 50. Yeah, they played one.
You know why they? And this game was in Sydney. Like, let's not
Yeah,
pretend
it's
they
not-
got
it
on a
can
plane.
be.
SCG's hard though.
They all live in Bondi, the boys. They don't live
Yeah.
out of bloody Western Sydney.
That's the other thing about the SCG. So they had another 50 more disposals than Sydney.
Don't worry
but
about
same
disposals
inside
with the
50.
Giants. Do not worry about
That's what I
disposals
mean. They're
with the
just
Giants.
going round and round though. Like you fall inside 50 at the SCG.
Oh, you are one decent kick from launching
Yeah.
it in. No, they just round and it's like the under 13 coaches at junior footy where they don't really have a plan for training. They go, right, boys, circle work.
Yeah.
Everyone get a touch. And it
Yeah,
goes
sick
around and it goes around. And then Lockie Ash gets it and he'll give it to Whitfield and then he'll go around out the other side. Sam Taylor
final
might be in there
wing.
somewhere. And then they'll go back around. Harry Himmelberg will say, hey, boys, paid a fortune. Don't really know what position I play.
Yeah.
Give it to me. And then he'll have a go. And then
Meanwhile,
they'll turn it over and the ball won't have moved.
Darcy Jones done 9 leads,
Yeah.
waiting for the ball.
And Toby Green's going, well, actually, guys, I'm pretty keen to have a crack at any stage.
Yeah, I'm not bad.
I'm pretty tired now. I haven't touched it. The Puma boots haven't had a kick yet. So send it down and they don't do it.
So that's so they're in there. So this zone, the Yuck zones, GWS, Fremantle, Carlton, Port, Sydney as well.
Hold on,
Although
give me
Sydney
them again.
maybe
Give
not.
me them again.
Sydney's hard to put in there because Sydney's done it.
They're an edge case. So GWS, Fremantle, Carlton, and Port at the
I
moment.
don't disagree with
They
that.
live in the Yuck
That's
zone.
fair.
I reckon
don't mind
people would have had them in the top fours
Yeah, that's
in
what
their
they-
ladder along the way at the pre-season.
Everything about them on paper, and if you think about the start of the year, you think they'll be good. But they're just not.
Well,
they should be.
all of them could have 5 All-Australians plucked from their team. this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I'll just quickly, that Brett Kirk medal, same boat as Ashcroft, changed it.
Absolutely.
Kirk Davis.
So, yeah.
That sounds like a person. Is that an actor? Kirk Douglas. Kirk Davis medal.
I'm more of a Kirk Brogan medal, but anyway.
Kirk Brogan medal. Kirk Corns.
Can we just
Brogan.
quickly name some of the names that
Mumford.
went?
What about the Shane
McDonald?
Mumford medal?
Mumford.
Played for both clubs.
Oh, yeah.
The Mumford medal.
There we go. Done it.
Done in 1
welcome.
minute.
You are welcome.
And you get a meat tray.
Now, let's go to Hawthorn. I am 89.3% convinced about the Hawks. But I have an itch that is just getting a little bit itchier and a little bit itchier each week, and I don't know why.
Where's the other 10.7?
Well, it's sitting over in the old. I can see a bad run of footy coming.
Josh can't believe I did the math that quickly.
I can see. Well, no one ordered it because I didn't even know what number I rattled off. So they've gone last 2 weeks. They beat Eagles by 50. They beat Richmond by 60.
Yeah,
But you'd think 12 teams in the comp probably should do that.
absolutely.
They play Melbourne this week.
Another
Beat them.
one.
Done.
Coming off a trip to Perth.
So they've gone
very
three of the easiest games in a row. And they'll go tick, tick, tick. And yappity, yappity, yappity. 100-year celebration. Congratulations to the big club. That looks sick. Then they go Suns away, Lions, Collingwood, Bulldogs.
Oof.
yeah, big.
That is a big 4
You know-
weeks. And I am nervous. I feel as though I think they're playing good footy. I think. But I'm not
playing okay.
that's what I'm like. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 1-3 in that patch. And then all of a sudden it's
You know what's brought
shit.
this on, Rhino? It's a 2008 Premiership hero hole in the pre-game celebrations.
Well, I did.
They're not-
I was going to ask our man, what's the process there?
was the invite not forthcoming? Is
No,
this what
everyone
happened?
was invited.
Oh,
Yeah, no, everyone was invited
So you could have gone.
to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
there was a
decided-
lot of people there. A
But
lot
you
of people.
decided not to go.
Yeah.
Why? What's going
Oh,
on?
I've been to Melbourne 5 times, mate. I can't be bothered.
I thought it would have been a nice one for you.
I'm sure it would be,
Thought
but
about
like,
giving back.
when next time
Some
they come,
point?
just do a one-man. Just
no,
one-man
like
show.
congratulations, and every player that's played gets
Is there a
100
rift
game
with you and
jumper.
Hawthorn?
No, I love the joint, and what Sam mentioned, but I'm just nervous. I don't think the results of 10-goal wins
Yeah.
are reflective of
That-
the form they're
Can't
in.
believe
That
you didn't go.
four-game stretch, I know. I thought this was sort of Clarko, a 10.
Well, isn't
maybe
this-
don't
Yeah,
wear-
it's good as- good to
don't-
see
But don't wear the
Clarko.
scarf.
But isn't this why you win premierships and stuff? Like to go back and do this stuff?
Well, it wasn't a premiership reunion.
Well, kind of was though.
Premiership
wasn't.
reunions would be more
But
fun.
to be honest with you, I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting there speaking to people you've never met before and talking like,
I did. It did.
like you know, what I mean,
it did cut to a shot at Croft, and he looked like he was having a relatively good time. But he's talking to these three blokes that I couldn't recognise. I was like, he's making small talk.
That's and
He's
I've been
making small talk
I've
right
been to
there.
Melbourne 5 times this part of the year. Like I don't need to go again.
Yeah,
And-
because you're over here. They're like, "Oh, Dave, what have you been up to?
Yeah,
oh, you know, did a bit of
correct.
radio
Yeah,
over
but,
there.
but don't be wrong, it looked amazing.
Stupid
and
podcast."
It was done brilliantly. Congratulations. It's spectacularly done.
Do you reckon?
But I did, yeah.
Do you reckon they got to pick that it was Richmond? Do you reckon?
100%.
Yeah,
Do you reckon
yeah,
they
let's do
100.
Richmond and the
You
MCG.
don't want to lose that game.
I think they look MCG and then they go likelihood of a victory high.
Yeah.
Likelihood that Richmond have reasonable fan base to
Yep.
make
Pack
the
it out.
crowd
Yeah,
look a little bit
make it an
bigger than what
occasion.
it is.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably just smash them.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, you're not doing Collingwood on a Friday night because it's just too risky.
No, you're only doing them when they're no good.
Yeah.
True. St Kilda, Jesus, look, great win, well done.
When did they recruit Chris Judd and Gary Ablett coming
What did
out
I
of
tell you?
midfield?
I mean, I'll tell you,
Some
I'll
bloody
tell you when
bastard
they
like
did.
Cooper
I'll
Sharman
let me read off the numbers.
always does this
Oh,
shit.
Hold on, Nick, you're going to want to hear this.
Okay.
Let me read off the numbers. 38 disposals, 25 of them were contested, 14 clearances, 10 score involvements and 8 tackles. Arguably the best performance of anybody of the year. Jack McRae, take a bow. You, Xavier Ellis, admit you were wrong.
Oh, I was
Don Scott.
right.
You were wrong.
I can't get it. No, what I gathered from that, 38 disposals.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, watch this. Watch the gym. This is what was Comaneci?
This is the front
gymnast.
foot.
Watch this.
This is the response. What I gathered from those numbers, he probably should have had more score involvements. In a 10-goal victory, to only have 10 is an indictment on the game.
Yeah, he only had 280 odd metres gained too. So if you go by the parish stuff, it's 7 metres.
7 metres of disposal.
Yeah.
If you really want to pick it apart,
Tim and Jack Steele
clinic
gave a little lesson.
They did.
Yeah,
they did.
That'd be tough.
That was not a talent win. That was a work rate win.
Yes, and it wasn't a coach win. I can't cop.
Can I ask this?
A boss copping the. That was a hard, tough. Football players that went about that victory.
Yeah, and so on the flip side, it's the Fremantle players.
Correct.
Yeah.
My question is, if St Kilda can turn up and do that, why aren't they doing that more often?
Well, I think it's to do with who you're standing next to at the time.
That
had a lot to do with Freo.
Right.
I mean, they lost the clearances by 30.
So it's a combination of them being locked on. Do you know when I thought St Kilda was going to win that game?
At the first centre bounce.
No.
Oh.
Go earlier. When Hugo Garcia got absolutely chewed out on the boundary. I went, no St Kilda player is going to shirk a single contest next week because they're going to get that treatment.
So I have a little insight on that. Hugo Garcia got a phone call during the week from one of my friends.
Did he?
Mickey Barlow.
Did he?
About responding at being subbed out in the first half of footy.
By Ross.
Is this when you
Ross.
You gave him that
Really?
bath?
Are we allowed to talk about this? This feels exciting.
There's only been 2 players ever subbed out before half time, and it was Mick and Hugo Garcia.
Wasn't that you sent him a text saying, sorry, mate, it looks like you get injured or something?
I rang him.
How does Mick go about getting Hugo Garcia's day? Like, this is a whole thing.
He's easy enough. He did know.
Mate, it's not hard. There's a committee meeting, a membership base of who's been subbed out before half time. There's only 2 of you.
I like that.
Just get on the database.
Jeez, Mick's, he's good, isn't he?
Just get on the database.
He's really setting
Mick's
himself
the chairman, and now Hugo Garcia is in the pre-halftime subcategory.
Nick, how long until Mick Barlow is a coach and Dave leaves the podcast?
Yeah, or to be his head of football, head of
Mick
vibes.
set the standard on that. Mick coaches at North and still does a podcast. So
yeah, true.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so you can be on the coaching staff and still do the pod.
That's what, if it's good enough for the goose,
fantastic.
it's good enough for the gander.
Right. So when you're a Freo head coach next year.
Okay, now let me.
it's Nicholas.
Back to me now, mate.
So
you did
you're
this.
confused.
All right. Without having a look at any other teams, is there a better 1-2 midfield punch when they're firing in at home than Dawson and Rankin?
I mean, there's a lot of groups
They complement each other.
There's a lot of groups that when they're firing, you
At
could
home.
say that.
We're just.
I had to add that right away. At home and firing.
I think there's no better team at home in terms of the
Adelaide.
highs and the lows.
They play so
Adelaide.
much better at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gold Coast is probably the other one, but they've seem to have rectified that.
Yeah, I would say
Adelaide
Adelaide are probably the benchmark of. You know, they say great teams have the.
Oh, I said Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, but also the good teams that they might be a 9 at home and a 7.98 on
but
the road.
Adelaide are 9.9.
Adelaide are 9 and a 6.
Yeah, that's true. The gap is massive.
Yeah.
I would put Rowell and Anderson in there at home.
Every team.
I think that too. But
what's wrong with Lachie Neal and Dunkley?
Complement each other so well.
Listen to
One's a
you.
big smooth mover, the other's the impact burst.
He's
like
worn the
bang, bang,
business
bang.
shirt in, and he's starting to really like.
What's happening here,
I
by
had
the
a
way?
meeting.
Okay.
Did you wear the
I had
hat to the
collar.
business meeting?
No, I didn't wear
Is
the
this
hat
as
to the
fancy
business
as you get?
No, I can fancy it up more.
Yeah.
This is a good
We've seen the bag.
We have
for it
seen
on.
him.
Yeah, occasionally.
No, they are good, but again, I can't take anything from one. You mentioned what was your category on the ladder?
Oh, the yuck zone.
The yuck zone. Who'd they play?
Carlton.
Who's
Right
in the yuck zone?
And I tell you what,
The yuck zone away from home. Maybe that's a formula we should actually follow
Yuck
religiously.
zone away from home.
Yuck
Adelaide-
zone away from home.
I will say this too. Adelaide have spent some time in the yuck zone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're out of
They're
the
not
yuck
there
zone
right
now,
now,
though.
but they've spent. Jeez, the showdown's going to be good.
Who do you take?
Yeah, Adelaide.
I think Adelaide is
Yeah, I
a
think
Port
you have
home
to
game.
take-
But it doesn't matter. Yeah. I saw that. Was it Monfries? No.
I think right now, based on form, you have to take Adelaide.
But
Who kicked the
Jordan Dawson kicked one off the siren.
Monfraz
it was,
and
but
goal.
yeah, Angus
Monfraz
Monfries.
and Coke.
Yeah. When
Who
it
used to
turned on
call
his
him
head.
that?
Oh yes.
Was that BT? Monfraz and Coke? Was
You
that
don't
him?
know where he kicked the goal.
Someone used to call him that on one of the radios. It was good.
The winning goal just like landed in front of the behinds and then did a
went right
angle.
angles. Yeah, I think it was Monfries now you think about it. Let's go to the Western Bulldogs. First, I just want you two blokes to say sorry. Just quickly go bang,
What
bang.
did I do?
You've gone
which
up
team is this?
the Western Bulldogs. You've just come after me for the Jacko McRae situation. Now you two can just say, hang on, sorry, I was out on Bevo.
Bevo, you're shitting on.
You wanted Bevo sacked and you took the unders.
Did I say the unders?
Yeah, you took unders. Both of you took unders. Aggressively took unders.
I don't know about the Bevo part.
Yeah, well, you did, okay.
Just adding parts to this.
What I want to
I
say
understand a bit of
is, look, clearly Bont's their best player.
Yes.
Really?
But their best. But right now, so the form they're in right now, who is the Bulldogs' best player? Like they have some players, for example,
I think
Tim English, 17 score involvements on the weekend. That's the most.
His best game of the year.
Best game, might be his best game ever.
Yeah, Ed Richards had 11 inside 50s. Matt Kennedy had 11 clearances.
Shit, wow.
But they're the names that you're not. Look, Richards, I think we saw was on the upward trajectory.
Yep.
Tim English, I thought was falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
He's been massive this year. He's
backing,
won most ruck hit out battles. He won one last year for the entire season, and it was a split share between Blitzavs and De Koning.
He's coming of age.
He is in incredible form. You got to tip your hat right there. But so remove Bont. Who's the first player from the Bulldogs you'd love to? If you open trade market right now, going to be hard because he's not playing. So I don't know what we're going to do with him. You're going to play short.
Are you playing this week?
Yeah, but right now, who is there?
Richards.
Which magnet are you circling and the opponent going? Be wary.
Ed Richards, I think.
It's Ed Richards, and then it's Bailey Dale.
Tim English. Tim English is.
I think you're not circling that because you know what it is. It's a ruck matchup.
Yeah, but I don't think we've. This is a Tim English we assumed would see 3 years ago.
Yeah, but it's just one game.
No, he's had a brilliant. He slaughtered.
Has he had a
brilliant
year?
season?
Have I just missed?
Did you just what I said?
Have I just missed that Tim English?
I think he's only lost one hit out battle this year. He won one for the year last year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a massive improvement.
He
27
slaughtered
goals.
Marshall.
Maybe I've underrated his season.
No, go have a look at his numbers.
Take a closer look.
Yeah,
The llama's back,
I saw
mate.
someone call him, there's Bont, right-footed Bont, and redhead Bont now.
Oh,
He's got 3 of them.
right.
Let's do Geelong. And I just screenshotted something last night on the Brownlow. Let me ask you the question: is who's had a better season? Have these guys had a better season than Patrick Dangerfield?
Yeah.
Right? Horn Francis,
No,
No.
Jack McRae,
no,
Christian Petrarca,
No.
Will Ashcroft.
no.
It's hard to know.
You shit canned him 2 weeks ago, so he clearly
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Isaac Rankin.
Yes.
Better than Dangerfield?
Yeah. No,
Better or just on par?
Yeah, but there's a couple
No,
early. There's a couple there that are
you're
probably
better.
on par.
Chad Warner,
No, danger.
Cripps,
Danger.
Rosie,
Danger.
But Danger's doing it in small patches too.
John Newcomb,
Danger.
Newcomb.
Butters,
Butters.
Sarong.
Danger.
Yeah, Sarong.
Mate, Sarong's my band on Triple M. I love Caleb Sarong, but he has not had his normal effect this year.
Bontempelli.
Well,
Well, yeah, in
Played
his
3
patch,
games.
yes.
Tom
yes.
Green,
No.
Danger probably, yeah.
Andy Brayshaw.
Well, no,
Brayshaw.
Andy. But I think the question is who stood up in bigger moments because when
Danger.
when there's no bigger moment player this year.
All
than
of these
Dangerfield.
players, Matt Rowett, Lockie Neal,
Yeah.
Zach Merritt, Bailey Smith, Jordan Dawson, Nick Dacos, are ahead of him in Brownlow favouritism. He is 51. That puts, I think that's about 20 players ahead of him. Now, obviously, built
Eight
into
polls.
this is the expectation that he will fall off the mark
Yeah.
because he's old. But if he continues at this pace, he should
His
probably be a
moments-
top 5 Brownlow favourite based on the fact that he is a polar.
I like that.
They are winning games
I
of
don't
footy,
disagree.
and he impacts in
Well,
those.
who said at the start of the year
big ones.
Dangerfield could win the Brownlow? And I was
said
like,
There was somebody
and
who
they're
said
like,
that.
I thought they accidentally said Brownlow instead of Coleman.
No, we
'Cause
all
I thought
laughed at
I thought he could win the Coleman and
Who
sit
was
40 and
that?
kick 3 a week. That's 66 for the year. Or
I
60
wonder who
for
the
year.
oldest person ever win a Brownlow was.
No.
Oh, wasn't
I
it?
don't expect us to have
Gary
it.
Ablett.
It was
But
actually
anyway.
fairly recent. I think it only happened a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll go Sydney. So they're the most sort of tenuous.
Sorry.
said
Barry
it?
Round.
Oh, so it wasn't this. No, Barry. Yeah, I remember that.
That's recently.
It's like it was yesterday.
How old was he? 31.
Aged 31 and nearly 32.
What team did he play for, Nick?
Barry Round was Swans, wasn't he?
That's right. Yes.
Well, South Melbourne.
South Melbourne.
Swans. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
the Swans.
so, but of South Melbourne.
Bloods.
Who are you doing?
See, well, I'm doing
Wow,
the
you're
Bloods.
on the Bloods.
Doing the
Oh, we can
Bloods.
talk about Barry
So they're
Round.
the most tenuous Yuck Zone member because I'm not sure that they actually have enough good players.
No, they're only yuck because they're missing cream.
Yeah, but I think they're yuck.
Yesterday of Errol running.
Was he?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
still
the
like
Sydney
4 or 5
Swans put a
weeks.
little
I was going to
Instagram.
say, but did it look like he could run into the team this week? Or
No.
does it look like he's...
They
5
said he's going to
weeks.
build his running over 5 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks.
So let's go through this list and tell me
coming.
if they're like a good player or just like an okay player. Like, and this is not like, let's say
All right,
good,
let's go
like
top-
above average or just good.
Should we go top 8 team? Would they be in the 22?
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah. Well,
Or you want it sharper than
You
that?
just
mix.
want good or better than
let's
good.
say good or better than
Okay.
good. Just good. So Warner,
Better than good.
Better than good.
Heaney,
Better.
Better than
Lizard.
Yeah, better than good.
Yeah, but
Is he?
coming down.
Well, his capability.
Yeah, but like, let's say how they're going
I'd
now.
say better than good.
Right
Let's say
now,
last 2 years.
Right now, good.
That's
Last 2 years,
better than good.
Okay, Roberts.
Good.
No, I think
He's good.
he's edging towards better than good.
He's good though.
Yeah.
He's becoming a really good player.
McInerney,
No,
just good.
average.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Good at
James
what
Jordan.
he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
good.
Just
Wicks,
Below average.
fine.
yeah, Florent,
Fine.
Good.
Lloyd,
Average.
Fine.
Rowbottom.
No, I like what he's doing.
probably,
good.
yeah.
Very
he's
good in his role.
He's good.
I can't tell who I've written there, but I'll switch over to Bice.
Where are we going with this?
Well, I don't
Bice
have
is
enough.
new. Bice
like,
is new.
They just we expect more of them because they're Sydney, but I just
I think
don't
they've
have
got a
the
lot
list
of.
at
I think
the
they've got a
moment.
lot of 6s.
Yeah, they got a lot of 6 out of 10s.
If the 9 out of 10s are
they're a
Bont
very-
and that,
And you need, let's say you need a handful of 8s.
It's very Carlton, where there's like 5 guys who are like huge names,
Yeah.
like the Heaney's
Yeah.
and the Warners and the Gouldens and the.
But I don't think there's not 5
there's-
playing now.
no,
No.
well that's the
No,
problem.
there's not.
Right?
But yeah, I just maybe the list is
and like for example, Grundy's a name, but not a
yeah.
player.
And
And
they
McCartan-
they do not have a functioning forward line right now.
No.
No, that's their biggest problem.
But having said that, they could win on the weekend.
Yeah.
Let's go to Melbourne. Clayton Oliver situation.
Is that the most depressing 2 minutes we've done on a team that's coming off a really
for
good win?
victory?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
really good win. Sorry, Sydney fans.
Sorry, Sydney.
Nick
Yeah,
brought
you're
that
going
down really far.
Well, I just wanted to say you shouldn't. You're
You know?
in the yuck zone a little bit, but you probably your
Yeah,
list
I
probably
think you
isn't
add
there.
the cream and it makes a cake.
Yeah.
Clayton Oliver situation, it's starting already. What are we, round 8 done?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are your expectations of the Clayton Oliver Melbourne Football Club situation at the moment? He's averaging 28 disposals, which is a hard one to like scoff at, but it's obviously not the Clayton Oliver 28
no,
disposals.
it's a different 28.
Yeah.
If Clayton Oliver averaged 28, you'd still be like, oh, you'll have 10 clearances in there, probably kick a goal,
Yep.
and do some hard, tough stuff.
500
But
metres
now
gained.
it's like, I reckon, like, who would you take, Ned Long or Clayton Oliver at the moment? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Well, what
you
market
wouldn't-
are you playing in?
But you wouldn't be upset with either. Like, they're both pretty
Yeah,
similar. You
yeah.
know, bigger body inside.
Yep.
One's cheaper.
Price is through the roof. Did you hear the numbers bandied around like at 1.5 to 1.7?
His contract.
Yeah.
That is that
Yeah,
high.
he signed a big one just before
Like,
he
that
got
is
shit.
so big.
Yeah.
That's so the
See,
fact that
trading for that is very hard to do.
impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's just very hard
Well,
to do.
who's doing it?
Well, there's ways around it, so you could extend the contract and split the money
But
over
you
longer.
can't extend it. There's still another 7 years
Well,
left
you
on
can
it.
go to 10.
Yeah.
You can go to 10 and just go, right, we'll take a bit of the money.
Who's the NBA player who still gets paid?
Well, there's a heap of them.
No. There was a deal that went on, and a baseball player maybe. His last payment came like 60 years after he retired or something. Yeah.
Genius.
Anyway, so I just want it's not as easy as like, oh well, Clayton doesn't want to be at Melbourne next year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
Says who?
yeah. Yeah, I think, you're right. It makes it very, very difficult to do the trade.
You're not getting anything back.
No,
so you
no. So you're-
and you're paying.
So Melbourne's best case, if they don't want him anymore, which I don't know if they do or they don't, but if they
no, but
don't,
by the sounds he's
Yeah.
ready.
He wants to go.
well, whatever.
Whatever.
We don't
know the story, but the
But
talk's
let's
enough.
just say that's what was wanted by everybody. The only thing that Melbourne could do is get a clean slate, which is right. Someone takes the money away,
no one's doing that.
and you don't get anything back.
No one's doing. You're not getting anything back.
Well,
No
they might do it
one's.
for free.
No
Like, if
one's
you're-
taking 1.7 of anything.
If they don't have to give anything up in return other than the money,
They're not doing it.
I don't know. Someone will always do it.
Well, what
So you
Jamar?
reckon they're just-
there's more people. Jamar is half that.
Yeah, but he's 1 year. Yeah. Someone will take a chance on Jamar.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry
right.
about that.
But there's more conversation around the unease of that. 6, 7 years.
Carlton. All right. Geez, they were very lucky.
I was starting to get a bit nervous about my take on Carlton after I gave them a real decent old clipping. Then they came good.
Geez, have
Yeah,
you
but they
noticed,
came
though?
good against nobody.
So hold on. When they were getting pumped and we put that video up,
Yeah.
It got a lot of good traction.
Yeah.
But then, and all the Carlton fans.
No,
were
then
very
they
quiet.
came back.
They had two
Yeah.
shit wins.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah.
And every time they won a game, then they beat the Cats, which was a good win.
Yeah.
But we just copped a little avalanche hit from Carlton supporters.
Yes.
And now suddenly they've gone quiet again.
Have we muted those notifications?
Yeah.
Where are
Let's
they?
open
Still
them back
going.
up again. They were lucky that Freo and Port was so awful, particularly Freo.
Well, it was overshadowed. The round was overshadowed by
Freo.
some big crappy losses.
Because there's one game around where a team just goes, that's the microscope team
Yeah.
for the round.
Yeah.
And this week
Well,
it's
you're right.
clearly Freo.
Port Adelaide copped at 90
Yeah.
in Ballarat.
Yeah. But they kind of got away with
well,
it.
the game shouldn't be played.
They kind of got away with it, though.
Either, but yeah.
And Carlton's kind of got
Well,
away with it.
Yeah, I agree. They got away with it.
Yeah.
And we're not in that. We're not that environment, so we're not getting the reports.
Yeah, but I reckon we still
yeah.
see it a bit.
Yeah.
Like on the shows and stuff.
Well, when
where's
I
the
said
whole,
you-
what's the problem with this list? And they fucking
Yeah.
go
Who-
down and
Who's had the two biggest defeats this year?
yeah, Port.
And not many people would have gone Port or
No,
anything.
no, I wouldn't have got. So very lucky for Carlton. They have some younger players. I was like, what does their list make up? They got 8 players with 52 games or less, 8 players 23 and under. So they do have some youth in the team. The next 3 games into the bye. St Kilda this week on Friday night. Marvel.
Right.
Sydney at the SCG.
I think Carlton will beat St Kilda. That sounds like
do
a Carlton
you?
win. Yeah.
Or does St Kilda go and do what they did last
No,
week?
I don't.
Not as
Because
easy.
Carlton are like Freo, right? They're a little bit flaky.
Yeah.
So if St Kilda lock in again, they'll win. If they play like they just played, they will win.
Gee, I think Carlton, but yes, I look.
You,
I can see that.
They should win.
As I said last week, St Kilda to me is Essendon to you,
right.
and Carlton
Can't
to
see
you.
it.
Yeah.
Then they've got Sydney at the SCG, which who knows, and GWS at Marvel. So they're the 3 into the bye. I mean, that's an interesting little 3.
3-0.
Could be 3-0.
3-0. The TikTok's back.
Could be 3-0. Suddenly we're getting smashed. out.
0-3, and it's been reported inappropriate.
Correct.
All right, I'll go to, speaking of Essendon, we'll go to Essendon. So I've changed my perspective on Essendon, and it's changed how I look at the games now. Because I just see them, it's now, we went through a couple of weeks ago, who of their next finals winning side is there, and the youth,
Yeah.
and there was enough there. So now I'm just seeing
I don't
it's
know
like
if
a
there was
rebuilding
enough.
side.
There was
enough. There was more than West Coast and, probably not North Melbourne. North Melbourne should be winning that
Mate,
game.
they got out of jail in that game.
But yeah, they did. But that's fine. That's what you do when you're a
That's
rebuilding
2 weeks
side.
in a row they got out of jail.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
mate, if you
They came back from West Coast.
maybe if you're sneaking out of jail all the time, maybe you're too good for jail.
Mate.
No, it's just Essendon. That's where they're at. So they win enough games to be in the middle every time.
This is upsetting you because you had them winning
Who was
one
that,
game for the season.
That bloke, the postcard bandit,
Well, that was
who
the
gets
other-
taken out of jail?
Was that Rowan Powell's uncle?
No,
it
his
was
name
someone's relative who was drafted
he was
to
a
West Coast.
Claremont guy who got drafted to West Coast and he had the same name.
Yeah, not sure, can't remember.
It was his uncle because he was
Yeah,
at
well,
Albany.
sorry,
You
Power.
reckon the detectives just sat down one time and said, maybe he's just too good for
just
jail.
too good for jail.
I'll just let it go.
Just let the champ be the
But yeah,
champ.
so Archie Roberts was good again.
Yeah, we like
Perkins, I've never, that's the best I've seen Perkins.
maybe.
Nah, Perkins does that 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Kako, Caddy.
Can I just
Good
say,
signs.
Caddy's had a good 2 weeks. He's had like 15 to 18
He does
disposals,
some
had like
things
5 or
he's
6
very-
shots at goal.
very nice.
And I briefly mentioned it to you, I think, on Friday. If Zach Merritt was 6'5" or 6'4", a Cripps,
Yeah.
Bontempelli looking midfielder, we would be that aroused by Zach Merritt.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
Like he's 5'11", and he was like, it's Merritt.
Yeah.
If he was just a little bit taller,
Yeah.
we would think he's the greatest. Like if he was taller, he's unbelievable.
And
You
that's
think
my
it's
other...
height bias against Zach
It's
Merritt?
height biased against Zach Merritt. It is.
Wow.
It's
short
height
man
biased against
syndrome for a reason.
It is.
That's going to cost him a statue.
If the man was 4 inches taller, we would froth him.
Yeah.
Which we're just starting to, obviously, the last 12 months.
And that's my other thing about Essendon is I want to see Zach Merritt in games of consequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jeez, he kicks it
Yeah,
so
they do build
nicely.
a statue. but They need less.
Just need
stuff,
less.
'cause it's
Yeah, I
cheap.
know,
It's
I know.
Cheaper.
It's a cheaper statue.
Instead, they'll go with Dusty Fletcher and it'll cost them a fortune. All right, before we do start Fremantle, here's a little bit about the Dockers. Woodside is a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club. Woodside has accepted the challenge of supporting local footy at all levels, from grassroots to greatness, so it can thrive throughout WA. Woodside, Australia's leading energy company. Fremantle Dockers.
Here we go.
Now, do you know what I like?
Do it. Do your bit.
No, I'm not going to go hard. I'm not.
You're not going to go hard.
No, I'm not. But I am going to say, Rinny, Fremantle's game plan, game style. Do you know what it reminds me of?
Here we go.
I'm driving down south, down to Margaret River.
I'm close my eyes for this.
I'm in the right lane. I finally got past the arc, Coburn, where it goes 8 k's an hour. Fix that road, please.
Yep.
I'm in the 110. And all of a sudden there's a bank up of cars.
No.
There's one dick doing 95 in the right lane, oblivious to what's going on around them. Yes, they'll get to their destination first, but they'll never get there. They'll get to the destination. They'll never get there first, though. It is just so boring.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh, like they're
So that's Fremantle?
yes, they're doing 95 and 110. That's what they're doing.
When they don't go, they
Doing
really
95
don't go,
and 110. Get the ball,
Move it.
go. Take a risk.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah.
Like, have a rule. Hold the ball for 2 seconds only. And if you have to kick it long down the corridor, kick it long down the corridor.
I think like Longmuir said it last night. He said when they started doing that, when they made a few early mistakes, they went within themselves.
Well, good teams don't do that. Like,
I know.
that's where Hodge and them would just
I know.
go, well, I'm going to bugger the third one up if I
Yeah,
have to. I'm
correct.
doing it.
Yeah,
'Cause you
law of
saw-
averages says I'll hit one eventually.
They started becoming tentative, and when you become tentative, you make more mistakes.
It's almost like they need someone like a Wanganeen Miller off half back who just is still, regardless of the time score, is just going to still go north.
Yeah.
And it's going to be done quickly. And if it makes a mistake, it makes a mistake. But the amount of times they get the ball and they hold it for 5 seconds to then go laterally or to just miss the target, I was just like, it's okay to miss the target, but just miss it quicker. Because when you miss
is there
it,
anyone even to come in? Like, is there going to be selection?
It's not going to be personnel.
Nah.
Because the personnel's all there. Like Caden Young's
33
out now.
points is the lowest of the season. But I hand on heart, I thought they were going to win easily. I
remember you
said that.
I was in on Freo, and now I'm like, I've not seen that. And no one saw that coming. But that has to leave a massive...
has to leave the doubts.
Yeah, you said I'm not going to trust you again. What did you say? You got to show me now or something.
Yeah, I said that a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out. I'm out until you show me. Like, and
Yeah,
you've got
I
to
just
show me
like-
for like multiple games. Like 4 out of 5, they had one going into that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like convinced.
No.
Yet. Like I was like, okay.
They don't blow, because they go slow. They don't blow teams away.
Yeah.
I don't like...
Yeah. And you know what'll happen tomorrow night?
They'll beat...
Well, they might not win, but they'll come out and they'll play a pretty good game.
So I
Like,
reckon get out of the right lane, sit in the next one, and just speed up. You don't have to do 110.
Yeah.
Just get up to 107.
Yeah.
No one's going to toot you and be pissed off.
Yeah.
You're still going to be going quick enough. You
Yeah.
can still defend behind it.
Yeah. Don't go 95.
Don't do 95.
Yeah.
It's just annoying everybody.
Annoying everybody.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
mean, Billy Brownless said he started reading the trumpet text messages during the game. That's how bored he was.
Okay, last one for me is Richmond. Now, I was going to bullet them, but I had an alternative because we bullet them a lot. And I just wanted to talk about Steely Green. Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Steely Green?
Yes, I
South
do.
Fremantle,
South
Steely.
Fremantle
Yeah.
boy.
So I did a story on him before, and he's got a very interesting backstory, and I thought I'd just share that now. So he was like 15, 16, and he didn't play footy. He was into sailing. So he used to do like
Oh, no, I
sailing.
heard you say this in the call down in the
Did ya?
Barossa.
Yes. So this is legit.
Mate, I was shocked.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
So this is legit, right? So he does sailing, in Perth. I think it's Royal Perth Yacht Club, one of those ones.
Who
He's
does,
out,
who does sailing?
I know. He's
Steely.
and he's out on this little boat. Anyway, he used to do barefoot sailing all the time. Like they usually wear shoes, but his mum bought him these brand.
Okay.
His mum bought him these brand new boots, and they had rubber on the bottom, which is what you're supposed to wear. Anyway, so he puts these boots on for the first time, gets struck by lightning as he's coming in, hits the pole, strikes him, boots save
him.
his life. He would be dead.
boots.
A
rubber
week
soles.
earlier.
Big brown bread.
They bought them a week earlier. So anyway, after this, 2 things happen to him. He decides maybe sailing's not for me. And he goes down and he watches a game of footy at South Freo, and he reckons the thing that got him was they celebrated the kicking goals. He's like, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate stuff. Because
That's
it's
cool.
sailing. What are you doing? You're out there on your own. You're like,
Pulling ropes.
good
that was
tack.
a nice rope pull.
Good
Like,
tack, mate.
where's the excitement coming
Yeah.
from? So he's like, I'm going to do that.
Starboard down. Or whatever the sides are.
16 goes to South Freo, starts playing. You should know, you're tier 1.
Yeah,
He starts,
yeah,
starts
sailing at
playing
lunchtime.
footy at South Freo, kills
Yeah.
it, gets drafted. Now, in the meantime, remember, he got struck by lightning.
Is that
What trade do you reckon he picks up? Sparky.
electrician?
He becomes a Sparky. This kid is,
Right.
and he's named after
Steely
Steely
Dan.
Dan, which is a band, and I don't know if you know what Steely Dan's named after.
No.
The band.
No.
It's named after a dildo. So I don't know if his parents knew that when they named
Is it
him
really?
Steely. Yeah.
What, as they say in
Have a look up.
Italy, the
you
old,
might have to beep that out.
It's the Dilbertinos.
well,
Named after an old-fashioned Dilbertino.
I asked him though. I said, "Have you ever what's your favourite Steely Dan song? He goes, I've never.
What's your favourite?
No, he goes,
What's
I've
your
never
favourite
heard one. I said, hold on a minute. You're named after them and
Yeah.
you've never listened to a bloody song. Anyway, that's the
Right.
Steely Dan
Yeah.
story. Steely
No,
Green
I
story.
did. I heard the electricity thing. That was
Remarkable.
Look, I'll muck around with hot water. I'll muck around with fire. I'll muck around, but electricity, leave me out
He's
of
just
that.
mucking around with
His
fire.
house just lighting fires.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm man. I'm happy to.
What do you mean
Every
you
time,
muck around
next
with fire?
time there's a big fire in Doubleview.
Yeah,
we're
this
gonna
is
be
where
here.
Kings
No,
Park
you know,
and it goes up in smoke again. It's
Yeah.
this guy.
You know, I had a report for illegal burnings in the backyard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did because he's mucking around with fire. As he likes to
Oh,
say.
God. All right, well, wrap it up with North Melbourne. We might as well. This is,
You can bullet them.
No.
He's still got a team.
No.
Oh, he's going to bullet
oh,
West
you're going
Coast.
to West Coast. So, first of all,
Jeez, we left Richmond, North, and West Coast to the last three.
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, it always happens. So, Finbar,
Finbar.
Marley,
Show-
Maley?
I think it's Maley. Because
Maley.
Paul Maley's son.
Yeah,
He's played for North Melbourne.
And Annalie Maley.
Oh, yes.
Who's the
yes.
WNBL?
She just missed out.
Purple.
She was training with the LA team for the
Oh, the
WNBA.
Spark.
but she
Is
just
it LA
got cut.
Spark?
Yeah, LA Sparks.
That's cool.
But yeah, I just let him take the kick.
He showed enough.
Let him take the kick.
That was shit umpiring.
That was shit umpiring.
Yeah.
I know the rules.
Was it
but
30 seconds?
Take the moment.
But he was
No.
He was already
No.
walking
What?
in.
Well,
He was walking in.
Yeah, if he was walking in, sweet.
He was walking in.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like he's still
Well,
standing
then-
there
well, then-
throwing
yeah.
grass in the
Well,
air.
then he hadn't taken his time.
And that's
he
the
was
rule
perfectly
is he's
fine.
walking in, yeah.
Okay.
That was being
But-
Ticky Touchwood.
Yeah.
You're 2.5 seconds over.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
come
well
on.
done.
Let
You
him
could-
kick it.
Yeah, okay. I'm
No?
of the opinion if it's not within the time, play on.
Yeah, he also
you don't owe it
needed,
to a first gamer.
He also did need someone to say, just take, because he was
Yeah, I saw
in three minds.
They went hard on that on the.
Yeah, just take it.
I reckon again, maybe a good team with a lot of confidence. He showed that he can take a fantastic mark.
Yeah,
just go back to
That's
handy,
his
yeah.
impressive contested marking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he kicked that nice snap early, but his set shots look awful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe
Someone
the
run
opposite.
past.
Yeah, just someone from half back or someone could have helped him out because the kick was like the other kicks that we saw.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. And it's not local footy. So if he's done it 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to do it again. So if he can't kick the goal, someone needs to be smart enough, like a Luke Parker or someone like that.
Just get around
Because I'll
there.
give you the hot tip: the opposition won't know.
No.
Just someone needed to be there to either take it off him and have a ping because you're probably, even if you are a 1 in 2 chance of kicking it from 50 round the back, by the looks of the way he kicks, you're a better chance of you're more of a chance of that going.
Had to get around there.
But in terms of he should play the rest of the year. I loved his attack on the pill.
Yes. The other quick thing was
Really quick.
Sheasel. There were a few moments where I thought, mate, you had to just drive your legs and take that on there. But it
Hey,
was
can
just
you
doing
just
little
leave
ones.
Harry Sheasel alone? All
Yeah,
right, there's
sorry,
been enough.
sorry.
There's been enough. We don't want him
Just at
to
the end,
taking the
I
piss?
had frustrations at the end with Harry
No,
Sheasel.
Harry
no.
he's going to get banned from the
Harry
North Melbourne
Sheasel
Rooms.
was perfectly fine.
Oh, no, he's unbelievable 95% of the
No,
time.
he was perfectly fine on the weekend. The man's allowed to
one or
have.
two moments.
Blow the
Oh,
siren
well,
on Nick.
let's get after Connor Rosie then.
Jeez.
We
Are you
can.
blowing the siren on West Coast?
West Coast Eagles, just want to say I saw Jamie Cripps having coffee this morning. I said, hello, Cripper, and gave him a hug and left. So, bullet.
That's nice. Little name drop there. Okay.
Oi, oi.
That's us.
All right, Hardball Gets is brought to you by Tab Touch. Got the touch? Download the Tab Touch app today. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Tune in again tomorrow for the mailbag. Catch you then.